Al Caudullo, and I'm back again with Joel Duek about immersive audio. Joel, let's talk a little bit for a second, getting started with this second part, about your background. What have you done, and what's your stature in the industry?
Well, my background is kind of twofold. On the one hand, I've been a music guy all my life, and most of that time professionally been working as a composer for television and film, and sometimes for other things. Predominantly a lot of nature documentaries. So if you know any of the work of Sir David Attenborough, I wrote the music for the last 9 Attenboroughs, I think, and I also wrote the IMAX theme that plays before any IMAX movie you go to see. So I'm out there in the world kind of as a composer. About 5 or 6 years ago, I started hearing about binaural sound in connection with this kind of emerging new field of virtual reality. And I said to myself, I know how to do this. I've done this before, and I became very interested in that whole world. And that was really the way in. And so in the very early days, we found that, as we discussed before, people were not paying attention to sound. And nor did they have any knowledge, or most of the virtual reality companies were emerging out of VFX houses or video editing. And so they would meet us and say, "We're so glad to meet you. Here's the audio. You do it." And so that's how it started. And we found a niche, and we've been continuing to kind of evangelize for the role of sound in extended reality. It's become a really important thing for us.
I think that's fantastic, and yeah, I have heard of that guy David Attenborough. I vaguely,
Yes.
Not bad at all. I got to hand it to you. That's pretty cool.
If you push me, I'll do an impression of him.
Oh, would you really? Okay, wait. This will be a world exclusive. Joel, let's hear your David Attenborough.
I hope I don't lose my next job because of it, but because I'm English, I guess I can get away with it. But here we are in my studio, dinosaurs roaming around as though we're in the ancient age. It is absolutely amazing. There we go. That's your little snippet.
Ah, bravo, bravo. Very good, very good. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be teaching people at this event.
Well, first of all, we want to get people sold on the idea that sound is important, that spatial audio is important, that their experience will really not work. People's brains will reject it, basically, unless it's got this world of audio to kind of substantiate it. So we want people to be sold on that idea and then incorporate it from early on, as we said, early on in their thought process. But we also want them to know a little bit about how it all works. What's the process of it? What's the pipeline from then audio to video? What's delivery? How to take full advantage of attention directing and emotion directing. And also we want to talk a little bit about, some of the stuff that we like to do, which is sound-led or sound-driven XR experiences rather than visual-driven. Whether it be musical, inclined, or, there's a lot of ways that, this can happen. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We want people to, at the end of it, feel familiar enough with the concepts that we use, whether it's ambisonic sound, how it's done really from recording if you're doing cinematic, so what kind of microphones we're using, through to the post-production process and through to delivery. We're going to make a distinction between cinematic and interactive because they're different processes for everybody, including for us on the sound side. And so fundamentally, we want people to leave and say, okay, I get this is important, and I know some of the terminology, I know what to ask for, and I know how to get this done. Even if not by myself, I know what I need to get this done.
Well, that's fantastic, Joel. What day is your talk going on?
I believe it's on the 20th of June.
Okay, so that's, I think, the third day?
It is on the third day. I believe it's on the Saturday.
Okay, well, guys, I hope you come out for all of them. We're going to have a fantastic time. I'm definitely going to be at Joel's, and I hope we'll see you there. Joel, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you,
And
Al.
I look forward to meeting you in person in LA.
Likewise, I do too.